As we last left off, we had just completed the sunken city of Poltergeist. And now, the city is gone. Now we're moving on to the final stage in this series, the Cliffside entrance. This is easily my most dreaded one. First thing I have to deal with are these Durons. I honestly forget what they actually are supposed to be called. But next room we have the acid drops again, and we have a couple of hunchbacks trapped in there. We want to get as many hearts as we possibly can for an upcoming battle. So we want to wait until this hunchback is in a position so we can actually hit it and when the next acid drop is actually going to come. Because, as you probably already known, enemies can drop hearts and items. So that's the first room out of the way. This next room, it's a bit more dangerous because we have to face these bats while going on these crumpling blocks. Oh, the dagger. Ugh! That was close. Now it's time for the second acid room. This one's a little bit easier. Base lag. Base lag. I have another hunchback in there. I never noticed that at all while playing this game until now, because I always get by this room so fast. It's faster to do with Grant, but it's much more risky. Now, the Flying Gargoyles are back. But here, I'm actually going to use Trevor to destroy them. And we have to somehow do some strategic dodging of those while waiting for these crumpling blocks to get into such a height that we can actually get up there. Now I'm going to switch to Grant, because I really don't want to wait through all this. Because, as I speak, I can tell you this is definitely going to be a two-parter. These ones, the bone scimitars don't jut in front of you as much as the other ones do. So, they aren't as problematic to deal with as the Durons were. Here we have a pork chop we don't need, but whatever. It's too dangerous, so I'm sorry, but I have to waste my hearts on you. A money bag we don't need. So much base lag, I tell ya. So I guess once you scroll the blocks off screen, you can't hit him anymore. And here we have a badly placed bone scimitar. What you want to do is that. And as next battle, you'll see who it is, and we're going to be using Grant for it. Yes, Phantom Bat requires us to use Grant once again, but this is actually a bit of an easier fight. Here you could just stay right in here, keep throwing axes, and if you squat down right here, they can't hit you. So you want to wait until they group up. Then you can actually hit them. One more. If this were Alucard's run, then I would really be waiting for some more hearts to come. So now we get to this nasty section with these falling blocks that keep building themselves. The problem I have with it is that it takes way too long and is really mind-numbing. If you're using Alucard, you could just fly up this segment and just ignore all the blocks, even if you get hit, because you can still turn yourself into a bat after you've gotten hit. It doesn't cause knockback, it just takes you out of the bat form, thankfully. But here, we're doing it the hard way, and we're going to be using a character other than Alucard. This is one of the few advantages that Alucard actually has in this game. And this is probably the toughest level in the entire game. Only for this factor. It's just extremely tedious. Look, we're already at 450 and this isn't even halfway done yet. The one good thing is that it follows a pattern. It's very easy to memorize. But once you enter the second room of this, the pattern actually changes. So you need to readjust your rhythm so that it matches that pattern. That's the only tricky bit, getting used to the next pattern that comes up. This will be coming up very shortly. But not quite yet. Like, see, right here, the pattern has actually changed, and I think I've changed it in such a way that... Well, it's actually not that bad, now I think about it. It's actually a bit easier, since it just goes from right to left. Pretty simple pattern. Now we just have to wait till there's enough clearance for us to jump our way through that. And we also have to time the blocks that are just falling down to nothingness as well. This should be enough height, but again, we have to time these blocks. And there we go. This makes it go a bit faster since he can actually just, you know, just climb up the wall and do that shortcut. Another notable difference is that in the Castlevania 3 port of this, the blocks have, they just pick a certain speed and just stick with it. Now we're switching back to Trevor and we have to deal with these spiders and a red whipping skeleton. These spiders are infinitely productive. So we have to deal with more ravens. That's another reason why I hate this place so much. I think we might have to deal with another one. I honestly don't know. That was a jump that I was not ready for, right there. This next room, it's a nightmare. We have to deal with these these moving platforms, bats, and crumpling blocks. If you're using Grant or Alucard, you could easily fly up to that platform with the stairs. But if you're using if you're using Trevor or Sypha, you're forced to go through this. This really makes me wish I had a turbo controller just so I can precisely time my jumps. Because every single one of those blocks right over there is crumpling. And don't be fooled by that candle, it has the dagger. Oh! Thank goodness that did not get me. That would have been a nightmare. No doubt that I'll be using Grant more than once. In fact, I already have. I'm probably going to need him in this next room because this is the last place we'll be dealing with these Medusaids. I'm going to be using Grant because it actually makes it a bit easier to get in between them with his troll size. You do not want to jump on these things. Same routine as always. Just don't jump while on these platforms because I'm sorry, but you will fall. If you time some jumps very accordingly, you actually could get some hearts. But it's just too risky. This is the worst section of the stage right here. One last Duron to deal with, but we have a very badly placed spider. This can appear at a very random location. There we go. And now we have Crumpling Block's Revenge. Stairs. And if I said we were done with the bone scimitars, I was clearly wrong. There's no way to know which block's gonna be crumpling. You need to know. And how we make things harder? We add the Flying Gargoyles of hell. They do take as much damage as ever before. If you manage to get something like that, you better consider yourself a lucky son of a bitch, because Yeah, these things clutter up the screen and can kill you like you're nothing. Alright, we're just about out. Alright, we're almost done. Thank goodness, I hate that stage. The rest of it isn't too bad. All we have to do is deal with this guy right here. Thank goodness. And if you went up here, you would have had to deal with one last mummy radius. And they, as you already know, are very horrible to have to deal with here. So now it's on to the Triplet Boss. You have to deal with every one of these guys one last time. You guys are gone. And now it's time to deal with Cyclops one last time. And look at him charging at us right from the start. What you want to do is just get him to draw his hammer down. Oh! Okay, you're almost gone. That was close. Don't forget that his hammer does a boatload of damage if it hits. But who cares? He's done. And the last one we have to deal with is a pretty fun battle. Though he's even funner back in Castlevania 3 because he's easier. Gonna try my best not to use the Holy War for this one. This is a pretty easy fight. What you want to do here is just be very cautious of how to lead his fireballs, but that's pretty much all you need. And that's it. Thank God. Plenty of outtakes, you bet. Take a guess where all of them are. But one last thing I want to tell you guys before we finally conclude this. As you see, the path leads here. It leads back to the main hall, but no need to deal with the Grim Reaper again. He's bad enough. So on to the outtakes, shall we?